Dudes, I'm going to tell you a story of a great injustice that I hope will illustrate an important precept of parenting. This is the story. My dad is a sort of mathematician. He does choice modeling. So he does the math that maps and predicts why people make the choices they make. It's especially used in marketing. It's used in a lot of other fields, but especially in marketing. There's the psychological side of marketing where people decide, okay, well, the label should be red and not blue because people blah, 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 psychological, blah, blah. And then there are the math guys who say the label should be red and not blue because math, right? From the way I described it, you can tell I don't understand what he does. He does math. I'm not a math guy. In the 90s, he was a professor at the University of Florida. My brother and I were teenagers at the time. And, I mean, this guy, my dad, he just hated that they made him teach undergrad courses. He mostly wanted to do research. It was mostly what he managed to do research, work with doctoral students and master's students. But he had to teach 1 or 2 undergrad courses a semester, and he just hated that. He hated teaching statistics, just hated it. I went to college at the University of Florida where my dad was, and all of my peers dreaded signing up for statistics because it was such a difficult task. And my dad hated teaching statistics because it was such a dumb class. Okay, so that's who my dad is. When I was in high school, my dad decided that the way the dishes were done between the 3 siblings, my brother, my sister, and I, would be determined by dice. 2 dice. Not 1, but 2. It becomes very important in this story. And he assigned us, so the total you can get obviously between 2 dice, the highest number is 12, the lowest number you can get is 2. So he assigned to my sister, who was the youngest, the bottom third of the possible number values, to my brother, the middle third, and to me, the top third, because I'm the oldest. All right, so if we rolled an 11 would have been me, okay, and I would have gotten the worst job. I don't remember what we thought the worst job was, okay? So perhaps those of you who are paying attention, gamers or math guys, or just people with a really healthy dose of common sense, have already realized the problem with this scenario, with this setup that my math genius of a dad had arranged. Okay, so weeks, maybe even months passed with this system. And my brother would complain and kept complaining about how he always got the worst job. Not always, obviously, but so often. It just really seemed like he was getting the worst job way more often than my sister and I. This went on for quite a while, and I finally said to my dad, "This seems wrong, Dad. This can't be right." And he said, no, this is right. It's just he's on a long streak of bad luck. And this kept going. I told my brother something was off. And in fact, there was something off, as half of you have figured out by now. I finally sat down to prove, I did the math, and I proved that in fact, my brother was getting the short end of the stick. So if you have 2 dice, okay, you're much more likely to roll mid-range than high or low. There's a much more limited number of possibilities to roll a 12 or a 2 than there is to roll a 7. Okay? Because To roll a 2, you have to roll a 1 and a 1 and a 1. To roll a 12, you have to roll a 6 and a 6. But to roll a 7, you can roll a 3 and a 4, a 5 and a 2, a 6 and a 1. It is way more likely that you will roll a 7 and a 12 or a 1. Okay? I mean, it just should have been there. Common sense. I was the one who finally broke that down, even though it was my brother who was getting screwed. So, what do I want to get from this story? Okay, we are parents, you and I. If you're not a parent yet, you will be soon. You know, grown-ups watch this channel. Dudes, encourage an environment in which your kids can have their own opinions and can push back. Why is this worth saying? Because the sorts of people who watch this channel will have realized kids are out of control. Kids are out of control these days. They do whatever they want. Parents want to be friends. Parents don't discipline. Boo. Right, and that's correct. Boo. You need discipline. But the response, the answer to this problem is not to create a dictatorship. Not that my father created a dictatorship. But this goes to illustrate that kids need an environment in which they feel confident pushing back a little bit. Okay? Realizing that their parents could make a mistake and having the confidence to tell their dad or mom, I think this is wrong. Oh, honored parent, I think this is wrong. Here's why. We should do this instead. And the parent should have the sort of authority that is strong and comfortable enough to say, that's right, I was wrong, we're going to do it your way. Okay, so that's really all I wanted to say, illustrated with that story. I mean, my dad is a math guy. You know, it still blows my mind, as you can see from my facial expression, that happened. Even after objections. I mean, it just blows me away. The dude is he's the head of a research department at a university right now. You, I'm sure, are more knowledgeable and wiser than your kid. You still need to create enough space for your kid to say, this is wrong, what we should do is what's right, and to lay it out. Okay? You need to be able to have that sort of interaction. Because you, sir, are highly fallible and very sinful. All right. That's it. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you. Have a beer. Greet your son. Greet your daughter. And you know what? Hopefully Christ has been gracious to you and filled them with wisdom. Maybe even a little bit of your wisdom.